Hey there folks, my name is Daizoren and welcome to MonDaiz. Now, I know you guys have been probably waiting all week because you're super excited for me to answer your questions, right? Yeah. I don't feel like answering them. Nah, I took a week on it. No. I said no. No, I'm not going to answer your questions. I said no. There's no need to be getting all... No, you don't need to get angry at me. I'm not going to... That's my show. No! I am not going to answer... No! Miguel C. asks, Amnesia or Alien Isolation? That's a pretty difficult question. I like both of them very much. I do. Despite what I think my comments really don't portray that I like Alien Isolation, and I do like that game. There are elements to it that I don't like, and I have stated those before. I don't need to restate them again, but I do like that game. It's a good game. It's a good Alien game, and I really am excited to see what happens with another Alien Isolation game. But I think I'm gonna have to go with, and if we're talking Amnesia, Dark Descent, not Amnesia Machine for pigs, right? I assume we mean Dark Descent. And if that's the case, I'm going to go with Amnesia. Obviously, I played it way later than other people, and I played other games like Under the Arrival and stuff. I think that the way that Amnesia when it first came out, completely rechanged and revitalized the survival horror genre, but also kind of being the first to do... Sorry, I crack my knuckles. I do it from time to time. I'm sorry. I think it was a really good game to come out at a really good time to get everything back on track with kind of what, horror games should be about. I don't know. It seems like there's this path that each horror genre goes through, or each horror game genre or series goes through, where it goes from a horror game and then slowly starts to go into these more action or faster paced oriented versions of these games. And that's not a bad thing necessarily. Resident Evil has done it pretty well. Dead Space did really well with the third title, so it can be done. And Alien Isolation, I think, did a good job of kind of balancing that, because there's action points that felt really, really overpowering, and I really liked that, while also having the horror aspect of it. So Alien Isolation did do a good job with that. But I think as a pure horror game, Amnesia had really good characters for the enemies. It wasn't something that we had already seen with Alien, and I think overall the atmosphere of that was really well put together. So Amnesia, in short. Paige Winstead asks, what's your favorite game of all time so far? I think I've stated this at least 500 billion times on this channel. So not to say that your question, you shouldn't be asking it. I appreciate the question, and I am more than happy to answer it again, because I love answering this question. And it is Metal Gear Solid on PS1, not Twin Snakes on GameCube. There is a distinction between the two. I've talked about it before. I hate Twin Snakes. I think it was an abomination of Metal Gear Solid 1. That's a personal thing. I just don't like it. But MGS1 on PlayStation 1 is my favorite game of all time. It was the first time I played a video game and thought, holy crap, this is what a blockbuster video game is. This is what video games are going to be like. Like, this is it. This is the quintessential game for the next decade. And as it turns out, a lot of games follow the Metal Gear Solid path now, where it's very cinematic. It's got a lot of, there are games with a lot of cutscenes. It kind of started what we see now back in 1998. It's action-packed. It's got a little bit of mystery to it, because it's kind of this, you're sneaking in to find out what's going on kind of mission. You are a badass kind of blockbuster, die-hard Bruce Willis kind of grizzled soldier. It has a whole lot of tropes, but at the same time, just everything about it feels so good. I know that this is definitely nostalgia, but I think the game control and the gameplay of MGS1 is great. I know everybody I know who has played the game way after it came out has not felt the same way about the game, that they don't think the gameplay is as good as what I think it is. But I think it's amazing. I love MGS1. I can play that game all the time. I play it at least once a year because I just adore that game. It is my favorite game of all time. Michael Zachary Official asks, greatest question ever. What's your favorite color? Hee hee, smiley face. My favorite color, I don't have one. I like black and I like red. Blood and darkness. Yeah. That about sums me up. No, red, like my red hair. Black, I just like black. It's dark. Like my soul. Kresna Dana asks, what's the scariest game you ever played? By the way, I'm your new subscriber. Firstly, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it here. It's a great place with a great community of a lot of awesome people like you. So thank you. And as far as the scariest game I've ever played, you know, oh, wait, no. I know now. It's a game that I've never beaten. And it's a game that I have planned on playing on this channel. And it's a game I haven't played yet. Because every time I go to play it, I can only get about 15 minutes in before I have to put a controller down, turn the console off, and go sit in the corner and cry. I've blocked it out of my head. I've just kind of tried to push the terror and the horror away from me so that I don't have to experience the flashbacks of horror. But no, now that I think about it, yes. Yeah, Silent Hill 2, that is my Moby Dick. That is the game that I really want to play. And that's the game I really want to beat on this channel, and I haven't had the chance to get around to it. It is on the list, and I want to get to it at some point soon. There's just so much other stuff going on, and I've got so many plans. It is difficult to get to it, but it is on the list. It is one that I am terrified of. Hopefully I will get to it, though. X Cunningham asks, who's your favorite subscriber thus far? Really? You're going to ask me that question? You're going to ask me a question that could potentially lose me subscribers? For people to be like, oh, well, he's a douche because this guy is his favorite subscriber. Unsubscribe. No, I'm not going to play your game. Not going to do it. The fact that you came to this channel, saw a video, and went, this guy's worth, I'll click the subscribe button. That makes you the best subscriber ever. If I had still been as unsuccessful as I had been with my other YouTube channels, I wouldn't be here still. So the fact that I've gotten 2,000 subscribers at this point is amazing, and every single one of you mean everything. Thank you all so much. Dead One Roland asks, I know you've mentioned several times that you studied sociology. Was there a minor? Yeah, my major in college was sociology. It's what I have my degree in, but my minor was psychology. And funny story about that, I was actually supposed to be a double major in psychology and sociology, but I kind of got screwed over by my advisor. My third year in college, I went to my advisor to do what's called a junior audit, which is where they go through all your classes to see what you've taken and what you still need to take to get your degree. At that time, I had said, here are all the classes I've taken. Take a look at it. What do I need to do? Okay, you need to take these classes here, and you'll have your double major in psychology and sociology. Fine, fair enough. Okay, flash forward to a year and a half later. I go back to my advisor. Just want to make sure everything's ready for me to graduate because I'm super excited, ready to go. It's going to be a good time. My advisor's not there anymore. I get a new advisor. Go and talk to this advisor. Yeah, I just want to make sure everything's okay. I want to make sure I have all my classes done. Just make sure I'm going to be graduating. You know, what all do I need to do? Yeah, you're missing 2 labs. Yeah, you need 2 more labs to get your psych major. What? I'm sorry, could you repeat that? Yeah, you need these 2 labs right here. Then you'll have your psych major. I wasn't told that. I had to change my psych major into a minor, and I got a sociology degree with a psych minor. So that's why actually I work as one of my jobs in mental illness. So putting that psych minor to work with a little bit of the sociology degree as well. So I get to use both of them pretty well. But yeah, so I'm a psych minor with a sociology degree. Jeff and Taylor Comic asks, what kind of comics do you draw? Superhero, humor, or horror? So I mentioned this to them, but I don't think I've really mentioned it in a video. I'm a jack of all trades type person. I'm multi-talented, especially when it comes to the arts. From the age of about 4, I have been drawing. I'm an artist, and while I haven't kept up with it these days, just because I work almost exclusively on this content, I wanted to be a comic book artist since I was 4 years old. I wanted to do comic book art, and so I had created comic book heroes. To this day, I still work on it from time to time. It's definitely on the back burner and has been for about, we'll say, a long time. I'm not going to say exactly how long, but it's been a long time. Maybe someday when I have more time on my hands, I would really love to get back to doing it. But it was an action series that had a lot of influence from both traditional American superheroes as well as some slight anime inspiration. I kind of liked to try to blend them a little bit together rather than have them exclusive on one side or the other, because I do like American comic books very much. I'm a big fan of DC and Marvel. You guys know my favorite superhero is Superman, but at the same time, I do like anime here and there. I used to love it a lot more, but I just kind of fell out of it for a while and came back, and I still enjoy watching some anime here and there. Dragon Ball Z Abridged is like one of the best things ever, and I thoroughly enjoy watching that, especially considering Dragon Ball Z was one of my favorite shows as a kid. If you haven't seen Dragon Ball Z Abridged, go watch it. Do yourself a favor. It's amazing. I have a whole bunch of ideas. Like, if I had all the time in the world, I would do so many things. I want to write books. I have a 9-novel series that I'm working on. It's a science fiction series I want to finish. I've got this comic book series I want to finish. I've got numerous comic books that I want to finish. I want to do some music albums. I want to make movies. I want to keep doing this stuff. So many things I want to do, and not enough time to do them. C'est la vie. Blood Red Cat asks, you're going to need a name for your subs. Q&A. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking? Also, what has your favorite game so far been? I'm quite fond of Five Nights at Freddy's, but the jump scares get a bit stale after a while and it turns into a rage game. And last, who's your favorite band? So yeah, I have no idea. Like, you guys, if you want to call yourself something, that's on you guys. Like, I don't really have a name for you guys. I don't know what we could do with, like, because like Marv, he's great. He's got, the Marvy Pan is so good for Marvy fans. It works out great. Me, on the other hand, Daizoren. Dazed and confused? Is that what you guys are? Dazed and confused? I don't know. Come up with something. You know, put some comments down, some suggestions in the comments. Everybody, if you have a suggestion for what you guys would like to be called, put it in the comments below. And then take a look at the other suggestions that other people are doing. Upvote ones you like, or comment, reply to them saying, I like this one, and we'll work on it. Sound good? We'll go with that. Let's have it. Let's democratize this thing. Yeah. America. How old am I? I was born in 1988. I am 26 years old. Yes, I am getting older. Actually, when I turned 25, I had like a midway to midlife crisis, because I was like, I'm 25 years old. What have I accomplished with my life? Oh my God. I assume you are asking what was my favorite game so far that I've played on the channel. See, I don't know what I want to talk about, because there's the games that I've played before, like Metal Gear Solid or Dino Crisis or those kind of games. And then there's games that I haven't played before, and that was the first time playing them on the channel. If we want to go with games that I've played before, obviously we have Metal Gear Solid that I did the live stream of, but that's my favorite game of all time. Let's throw that out. I think the most fun I had was in Dino Crisis 2. That game's amazing. That game is so incredibly cheesy, but so much fun. As far as games that I had not played before the channel started, and played for the first time on camera, screw it, I'm cheating. I'm gonna look at games that I've played, because I honestly don't remember everything. Okay, I had to look through all the games I've played, at least playlists. And I think I might have to go with The Last of Us. That game was really amazing. I really enjoyed that game. Yeah, I'm gonna go with The Last of Us. That was definitely my favorite game that I played on this channel. I know it's not a horror game per se, but yeah, I really enjoyed that game. Also, I kind of agree with Five Nights at Freddy's. I don't know that I would say, yes, it does turn into a rage game. That's I cannot argue with that at all. You guys have seen me rage with that game. But it was funny, when we were doing our Extra Life live stream, we were talking about Five Nights at Freddy's with Dave, and he was like, yeah, the 20-20-20-20 mode thing, man, that really, like, the way that you do your time management and your power management really reminds me of StarCraft. What? Because it's micromanagement, and it clicked. I'm like, this is a micromanagement game. Oh my God, I never really thought about it that way. So now whenever I think about Five Nights at Freddy's, I just think about like it being this micromanagement game and not necessarily a rage game. So it's just about getting that perfect play style down. Who's my favorite band? I'm glad you asked, because I know this band, I tell it to so many people and they're like, who's that? Or they've never heard of it. My favorite band is Dream Theater. So I'm doing you guys a favor. Go go look them up because Dream Theater is amazing. They are classically trained musicians. If I remember correctly, their singer is a trained jazz singer. I always get him mixed up with Symphony X because the Symphony X singer is a trained opera singer, I think. But anyway, they know music theory, they know music composition very well. They don't just make songs in 4/4 time, which is the 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. They do stuff that's like crazy time signatures. And as a musician, it's something that I really appreciate when other musicians make songs that aren't just in 4/4 time. If you guys have heard Trans-Siberian Orchestra, it's kind of like in that same vein. It's progressive metal, but with like really awesome lyrics and really awesome singing. So overall, it's just an amazing experience. All their songs are really cool. Some of their songs are 25 minutes long. They're epic. Go check them out. I have a few favorite songs by them. Octavarium is great. Panic Attack is really good. Pull Me Under is really good. Solitary Shell. The entire 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence album is really good. Yeah. Go check them out. They're amazing. Decaying Reverie asks, do you have a particular favorite genre of music? Do you play many games that aren't for videos? Do you have a favorite genre of games? And finally, in a previous video, you mentioned that one of the Metal Gear Solid games was your favorite video game. Would you recommend it to someone who plays video games almost exclusively for the story? Going off that last question, I really like classic and progressive metal, classic rock, alternative rock for a little bit, but not as much as I used to. But definitely, like, I'm heavy into the progressive metal and classic metal. Progressive metal like Dream Theater, Symphony X. Classic metal like Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, all that stuff. That's what I really like. Because of the fact that I work 2 jobs outside of doing this, a lot of my time is now spent working on videos, and there are times where I will play games by myself on my own time. But for the most part, it is pretty much all recorded. I did play a little bit of Road Redemption off camera because I really love that game. It's a very good stress reliever. Aside from that, I really don't play a whole lot of games outside of recordings. However, I do play this game on my phone that I'm absolutely obsessed with, and I really want to make videos on it, but I don't have the ability to do it. I know that there's a cord that I can get that I can plug into my TV to get my screen on my TV, and I've tried using it with my capture device, and it doesn't work. So I am trying to find ways that I can get get my phone screen onto the computer, because I know people have done it. It's called Brave Frontier. It's like a classic JRPG. I actually have it running right now, but the entire game plays like an old school Final Fantasy game. I have auto battle on right now because I'm kind of overpowered in this area, and I grind in this area a lot. So I just set it to auto battle. But anyway, you get characters that you can level up and you can evolve them. It's kind of like a mix of Final Fantasy with Pokemon. It's like a bunch of different JRPG style genres meshed into one. You're a summoner, you summon all these characters. They work as a team to defeat enemies, and they can evolve. They get super moves. They get brave bursts, which is like burst limits from Final Fantasy. And it's just a really fun game. It is a technical free-to-play game with gems being the currency, and you can go buy gems. But I can tell you right now, you can still play and actually you can have a lot of fun with this game without having to pay any money. But paying a little bit of money will get you pretty far. What I like to do when I play a game like this is, if it's a free-to-play game, but I think it's worth something, like it's really a fun game like this one, I'll be like, oh, okay. You know what? I'm gonna buy some of the in-game currency because I think this game deserves a certain amount of money, and I will pay however much I feel the game is worth to the developers, and then go on my merry way. Yeah, I've done that a couple times on this game. Yeah. Anyway, Brave Frontier. It's a great game. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend it for people who like classic JRPGs with a little bit of modern graphics and stuff. Like, it's got retro graphics, but also like modern effects. So it's a cool blend. So yeah, I'm not sponsored by Brave Frontier. I wish I was, Man, that'd be awesome. But anyway, yeah, Brave Frontier. It's awesome. I really like this game. I think my favorite genre has always been kind of the action-adventure. I like Metal Gear Solid, Last of Us, Siphon Filter from PS1 era. That was a good game, too. Dino Crisis. You know, all those games. I really like the action-adventure style games, but at this point, I feel like I play just about any game and I enjoy it. Or any genre and enjoy it. There's not many genres I can think of that I don't like, but action-adventure is definitely my favorite, I think. Metal Gear Solid, where have you been? You know who Hideo Kojima is, right? Hideo Kojima. He's the mastermind of the 2-hour cutscene in video games. There's a 2-hour cutscene in MGS4. Yeah. If you want story, if you want a really kick-ass story that's amazing in every single way, Metal Gear Solid's amazing. It's also incredibly convoluted, and there's a lot of really weird shit that happens. But it's awesome. Metal Gear Solid 1, you could have it as a single encompassing story and not have to play anything outside of that game, and it's a great story. Now, would I recommend playing the other Metal Gear Solid games? Of course. Basically, the blueprint for where video games are now. Like, this inspired games that came out 10 years later. So, yeah, definitely. I cannot recommend MGS1 enough. Realize that this is coming from someone who's incredibly nostalgic for it. I think everything about it is perfect. Even though I know it's not a perfect game, I think it is. So be prepared for gameplay that's probably not going to be what you're used to. Get ready for things that aren't going to make sense, or how was I supposed to know that in a game? There are going to be moments like that for people who have not played it, who did not play it back in 1998. Everybody I know who's played it later on in their life or recently, who's never played it before, while they had frustration with the game, ultimately came and said, yes, I really liked that game. Like, it was a lot of fun. The story was really, really well put together. There were just some gameplay things that I didn't like. Give Old Elf Bowl a try. What? But that does it for doing the questions and answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Probably a little lengthy. I'm going to try and cut it down as best I can, but you're probably looking for you're going to have a pretty lengthy video to watch. I hope you guys are okay with that. I like talking a lot. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really like doing this stuff, and I would like to do more of this in the future for sure. Maybe I could make this maybe a monthly thing or something. I don't know. It just depends on how many questions you guys are willing to ask me. If you guys want to continue asking me questions, you can put them in the comments below, and maybe I'll do another one of these next week. I don't know. Maybe I'll dedicate a small section of the vlogs to questions. How does that sound? Let me know in the comments what you guys want me to do, and we'll see what we can figure out. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. You guys have made this channel happen, and I thank you very much for that. And I will catch you in the next video.